Time plays a critical role in nearly all biological pathways responsible for how we feel, function, and live. This is especially true in Parkinson's disease, where the steady loss of the brain chemical dopamine disrupts all normal movement throughout the day and disturbs sleep patterns at night.
Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative condition that mainly affects the movement centers of the brain. So patients have motor symptoms like resting tremor, stiffness, slowness, and trouble with walking and balance.
We don't have control over this disease, but we can do certain things to help ourselves. Exercise has been a key thing for me on a day-to-day basis. It helps me keep moving. The Institute has taught me that, the doctors have taught me that. It's been one of the biggest things that I can take control over, and I think that that's something that people need to understand.
By matching drug response to disease symptom activity, physicians can provide real functional benefits to patients living with chronic and progressive diseases and improve the quality of life for people around the world.
For the past 20 years, there's been good progress on finding symptom therapeutic treatments for Parkinson's disease, but not curative or new treatment or new drugs for Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is at the forefront in looking at bringing in comprehensive neurodegenerative and cutting-edge clinical research studies to find the cure. We can do that by relying on our 30 years history, on our clinical team expertise in movement disorders, and also looking at our clinical trials currently ongoing. We have several clinical trials, clinical studies. We're looking at genetic clinical studies, and we're looking also at environmental factors, agents, such as the microbiome of the gut. There's recent data that's shown that there's a link between stomach toxins and people having risk for Parkinson's disease.
Here at the Parkinson's Institute and Clinical Center, we've really adjusted our focus to look at the gut-brain axis as an avenue to provide therapies and relief for our patients. Specifically in the clinic, we've really focused on defining the disease and the manner in which our patients are suffering through advanced imaging technologies and technologies such as the smart pill. On my end, in the preclinical facet, we're really looking at the bad players that exist in the gut. And so specifically, we're looking at the microbiome and trying to define those bad players that exist in our patient population.
It has been a great resource for me for looking at my medical point of view as to some problems that I have, how they can be separated and diagnosed and are treated. That guidance, that help, and also they have guided me in my day-to-day life, in my food that I take, and I spend about a couple of hours or more every day in exercise, and that is of great help to me.
Beginning their relationship in 2005, the Parkinson's Institute and Adamas Pharmaceuticals are driving innovation in research and drug development that can help patients achieve better outcomes.
The Parkinson's Institute and Clinical Center is the nation's only center that's devoted purely to the treatment of people who have movement disorders, of which Parkinson's is the most common. We not only take care of patients, but we also do what's critical to finding a cure, and that's research. It all happens in one place. So we've been a leader in clinical research since our existence, about 30 years, in addition to being a leader in clinical care. What makes us unique from other places in the area of neurological diseases is that everything happens in one space. All of the research, the basic science research, the clinical research, and the clinical care happen seamlessly together. And that, we think, is the reason why the Institute has been so critical in helping move forward therapies to help treat the symptoms of the disease.
So the reason I started Adamas, and really the central idea behind it, came from appreciating that if we could study how people felt and functioned and lived, and connect that to their underlying pathways that vary throughout the day, we could develop products that really had a major impact on the patients. And the way we do that is a combination of starting with the patients, the physicians, and the literature, and really try to connect how their daily life runs and connect that to biological insights that we can then do something about. At the start of the company, I went out and began to meet with some of the leading clinicians around the US, and one of the most impactful conversations I had was right here at the Parkinson's Institute in Sunnyvale. The head of that institute and the staff opened up their doors to me to teach me about the lives of Parkinson's patients. And from that, conversations in the waiting room and listening to what were going on in those people's lives, and then connecting that to what the Institute was doing, I was able to see a pretty unique opportunity in the area of Parkinson's, specifically in the area of being able to treat their dyskinesia and off by understanding their timing patterns.
It's possible that the disease starts in the peripheral nerves or in the second brain, the brain of the gut, and then actually spreads up into the CNS, or the central nervous system, and therefore you see the movement disorders later on. So if we can stop that initial insult through pharmaceutical interventions or possibly dietary interventions, we could actually prevent the progression in our patients as we move forward.
Overall, I'm living as well as I can be with this disease. The institution has taught me that exercise is key. That's helped me a tremendous amount, and it's helping to, what I believe is, slow the progression as well.
The mission of the Parkinson's Institute from its founding 30 years ago has been to provide the best quality care while finding the cause of Parkinson's and finding a cure for Parkinson's. So cause, care, and cure is really our mission.
To learn more, visit adamasPharmaceuticals.com or thepi.org.